Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nate's Top 100 Games of All Time that I love to play. This episode we're going to be counting down games 80 to 71, so let's jump right into it. The first game on this list is a living card game by Fantasy Flight, and that is the Game of Thrones card game 2nd edition. This is my 80th favorite game to play. It's ranked 474 on BoardGameGeek.com. This game is designed by Eric Lang. It's evocative of games like Magic the Gathering. It's a deck building game. What you're going to be doing is bring a pre-constructed deck that you've made to the match. What I love about this game is it's not just strict combat. You are fighting over 3 different areas of influence. You could do strength, you can do intrigue. It is really fun because you have to defend on all 3 of these fronts. So you need to keep that in mind when you are designing your deck. It's got all of the great houses from Game of Thrones. A lot of fun. You can play a 2-player game. You can even play, I believe, up to 5 players where you each will have a different role from the King's Council, which gives you a special power. A lot of fun. Game of Thrones card game number 80. Moving on, my next game is a game ranked 262 on BoardGameGeek.com, and that is Heaven and Ale. Heaven and Ale, it's got very interesting art. I like it a lot. I know some people are a little turned off by it, but what it is you are playing as monks trying to make the most delicious brew you can. You need to be planting wood and barley and get fresh water. But you also need to be planting these goods in order to sell them, in order to get money to run your operation. So what's really neat about this game is every time you get these goods, you need to decide, okay, do I need to save these back for my brew, which is how you get your victory points at the end of the game, or do I need to plant these in order to sell them as a cash crop so I can keep moving? Money is so tight in this game. Another cool thing I love about this game is as you're moving around this circular board, you can go as far as you want, but you can never go back. So there's always this dilemma of, oh, I really need that space ahead, but I don't want to jump that far ahead right now. Is that still going to be there when it gets back around to me? So it's a lot of fun decisions. The scoring's a little finicky in this game, a little hard to explain, but once you have it down, it's a ton of fun. Heaven and Ale. My number 78 game on the list is a fun family game, a lot of dice rolling. There are crazy aha moments of, oh, I can't believe that happened, and that is Lords of Vegas. Lords of Vegas is basically an area control game where you are trying to establish casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. What is fun about this game is as you build the casinos, every round these cards are going to come up triggering certain colored casinos, your pink casino or your green casino. And the owner and everyone who's invested in this casino is going to get some money. And then, of course, you use that money to build out your casino, making it larger. What is great about this game is you can gamble against each other. So if someone's getting a little bit too much money, or if you are just a couple bucks short of what you need to do, you can go to a competitor's casino, roll the dice on the craps table, and if you win, they have to pay you money from their bank. Which is a lot of fun. It's also got a great takeover mechanic where if you get invested in someone else's casino, you can pay a certain amount of money and make everybody re-roll for control of that casino. So it's great that you can end up taking over other people's casinos. There's a lot of trading and negotiation in the game. You can buy and sell each other's lots or casinos. Tons of fun, and that is Lords of Vegas, my 78 game, ranked 265 on Board Game Geek. Moving on down the list to number 77, we're going to get to a Martin Wallace game. He's, of course, a designer of brass, and this is Via Nebula. Via Nebula, ranked 840 on Board Game Geek, my number 77, is a pick up and deliver game. It's a pretty simple pick up and deliver game. Cards get flipped up with different orders to build these different buildings in this valley. You need to get all the goods. You pick your building site, bring all the goods back, build the building, get your victory point cards. The neat thing about this game is that the valley is hidden under clouds, so you have to explore the valley a little bit, create these tracks, these routes to go, and people can be taking the goods from the site that you've discovered. A lot of fun, pretty simple, great family game, and that is Via Nebula by Martin Wallace. Moving on to number 76, we have a civilization-themed game that's gotten a lot of flack. People either love it or hate it, and that is Tapestry by Stonemaier Games. It's currently ranked 232, my number 76. I say it's civilization-themed because it's not a traditional civilization game. People give it a little bit of a bad rap because they say that a lot of the factions are swingy, not balanced very well, but the game is still just so much fun. It's so simple, such a simple mechanic. You just move up tracks. Do you want to move up a military track, an exploration track, science or technology? So each turn you just decide one track you want to move up to and do the action of that track. What's really neat is each faction, of course, is asymmetrical. They have all their different powers. The game's gotten a little bit of a rebalance with the expansion, which I think makes the game better. I just love it. It's got beautiful miniatures. It's really fun and simple. You just can't take it too seriously. And that's Tapestry, my 76. The next game on my list is a game that I don't think too many people know about. It's ranked pretty low on Board Game Geek. It's in the 6,000s, and that is Medieval. This game originally came out in 2003, and I think it had a pretty good following back then, and it got re-released in 2018. This is a game where you are playing as cabals, or these secret people behind the power structure in all these different medieval kingdoms. And basically what you're trying to do is move your influence around to get different kingdoms to fight each other, take control of several different kingdoms, and claim different cities that give you victory points each round. What I like about this game is it's not a sandbox game, but it's got a lot of free flowing mechanisms. You can let people transport through your kingdoms that you own. You can trade stuff with each other. You can gang up on the leader. It has a map exploration. The game ends once the Mongols have invaded you, which is really neat. So it's got lots of cool cards. You can elect yourself Pope and force people to go on crusades. I think it's a really neat, fun game. I think more people will like it if they would play it, and that is Medieval, my number 75. Next on the list is another game by one of my favorite designers, Reiner Knizia. This game originally came out in 1998, but is still holding strong. It's a great game, and that is Through the Desert. Through the Desert is a game where you are building these camel caravans through the desert, and you are trying to connect your different colored camels to different watering holes, oases. You're trying to build circles on the map, grabbing territory just for yourself, getting longest chains of different colored camels. You can't have your pink camels come up next to someone else's pink camels, so it's got a lot of area control mechanics to it. It's evocative of Ticket to Ride or other games like that, but I think it's a great game. It's a lot of fun building these little caravans through the desert, and that is Through the Desert, my number 74. Number 73, a Bruno Cathala game, came out in 2015, and this is Mission Red Planet. This is the second edition, is the one that I love. I love games where you have a hand of cards and you play them, and then once you've played them all, or when you choose to, you can take them all back. So you have this kind of strategy. Everyone has the same cards. What you're trying to do is you're playing these cards to fly off to Mars and colonize Mars. It's an area control game where these rockets fly off from Earth with different astronauts, my astronauts, your astronauts, and they land on different regions on Mars. And each, at the end of, I think there's 3 scoring phases. At the end of these different scoring phases, whoever has the majority in the different regions on Mars will get the victory points for that region. A lot of fun take that in this game. You have a card in your hand like the Saboteur that can blow up a rocket ship, so you can put your astronauts on that rocket ship with everyone else's and have it blow up. You can play your captain, which changes where the ship's going to go. So maybe everybody thought that ship was going to go to one region, but it ends up flying to Phobos. So great game. It's got a cool steampunk feel. I'm surprised with how fast this game plays. It's really quick, but a lot of fun. That's Mission Red Planet, number 274 on BoardGameGeek.com, my 73rd favorite game. 72 is a card game called Carson City, the card game. You might be familiar with the board game Carson City. The card game is very similar. Basically what you're trying to do is build out this Wild West town. Cards will get laid out on the table and you will bid on these cards. Maybe you want to get the mine card, maybe you want to get a ranch, or maybe you want to start building some hotels, and you'll take these cards and you'll lay it down in your tableau, making a grid. I believe it's 8x8 grid of different buildings. All the buildings have different adjacency bonuses, so maybe you want a lot of houses next to the saloons, you need a lot of empty spaces next to the ranches, and so you're just really trying to build this town. It's evocative of tile laying games, but it's cards instead. I love the bidding mechanic. You're all holding a hand of cards 1 through 9, and as you play the cards to bid, you don't get that card back that round. So if something really juicy comes up this round, this turn to bid on, you might lay down your number 9 card. You can also get different characters that can help you, like sheriffs and gunslingers that can help modify your bids. A lot of fun. Carson City, the card game, ranked 2,646 on Board Game Geek, but I'm telling you it's number 72. The last game we're going to talk about, my number 71, is a new game, just came out last year in 2020, and that is Ride the Rails. A lot of train games out there, a lot of pick up and deliver games out there, but this game is neat. It has a very interesting twist on it. You're all building the rails together. There are different color rail lines, and I'm not the black rail line, you're not the purple rail line. Basically what you do is you invest in these different colored rail lines, and then you work together to put the trains out, connecting cities throughout the whole United States. And after we all take our turn adding some trains of different colors that we're invested in, we each take a turn riding the rails, where what you do is you grab a passenger from one city and take them to another, and basically every train that they go on will pay dividends to the people who are invested in that company. So it's a great game. You can't let one person run away with one color, but there's also a risk that if you're the only one doing that color, people will just build around you. So it's got this really neat push back and forth of creating these rail lines. If you're the first one to connect to certain cities, you get bonuses. A lot of fun, really simple, plays super fast. This game's currently ranked in the 2000s on Board Game Geek. I expect this is going to go up higher as more and more people get to play it. My number 71, Ride the Rails. I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list. Stay tuned coming up next for the next set of top 10 games. And again, thanks for watching.